Hello guys, I am Professor Fayaz Kawadi from Department of Mechanical Engineering with continuation with previous topic. After introduction part of worm and worm gear drive, come to the next topic, that is relay terminology of worm and worm gear from unit number 2 from theory of machine subject. First of all, the terminology which is used in worm, and that worm is nothing but similar to the screw or bolt, in which the first term is helix angle, and that helix angle is denoted by alpha. It is an angle made by helix with the axis of rotation. It is the angle made by helix, or it is the angle made by teeth with the axis of rotation. These are the teeth of worm. This inclination with the axis of rotation. This is the axis of rotation. So the angle made by teeth with the axis of rotation is the helix angle, and the helix angle in this figure is denoted by alpha for worm, alpha W, alpha for worm, alpha W. Generally, the helix angle of worm is more than 45 degree. This alpha W is more than 45 degree. Whereas for worm gear, this component is machined with worm gear. Worm is machined with worm gear, which is similar to the helical gear. So when the inclination of teeth is more than 45 degree, so the machine teeth of worm gear, the inclination of worm gear is less than 45 degree. If alpha W, helix angle for worm and helix angle for worm gear, be the helix angle of worm and worm gear, then for 90-degree shaft angle, what is shaft angle? As we discussed in the session of spiral gear, the shaft angle is the addition of alpha A and alpha B when the hand of helix will be same or same handed helix, theta, and that is denoted by theta. Shaft angle is denoted by theta. And if alpha A minus alpha B is theta, when hand of helix will be different, opposite handed helix, at that time theta will be alpha A minus alpha B or alpha B minus alpha A. That we already discussed in this session of spiral gear, terminology of spiral gear. So here alpha A and alpha B is not using the terms here. Here we are using alpha for worm, alpha W plus alpha worm gear. So simply writing gear G, alpha G for gear, worm gear. So alpha for worm and alpha for worm gear, alpha W plus alpha G is equal to 90 degree. Why? Because we are assuming that the hand of both the worm and worm gear is same. So same handed helix is there. At that time there is addition of both the helix angle. So alpha W plus alpha G is equal to 90 degree, or we can say alpha G, alpha for gear is equal to 90 minus alpha for worm, alpha W. Alpha G is equal to 90 minus alpha W. Now come to the next term, lead angle of worm. Lead angle, that is denoted by lambda. The new angle is introduced in worm and worm gear drive is lead angle. Okay, in spur gear we introduce the angle phi, that is pressure angle. Okay, in case of helical gear we introduce alpha, that is helix angle. In case of spiral gear, the third angle is introduced, that is theta, which is shaft angle. And in case of worm and worm gear dive, the fourth angle is introduced, that is lambda, and that is lead angle of worm. Remember all these angles while solving the numericals, and don't confuse in that. Okay, I again repeat. In case of spur gear, the first angle is introduced, that is phi, pressure angle. In case of helical gear, we introduce second angle, that is helix angle, and that is denoted by alpha. In case of spiral gear, we introduce third angle, that is theta, and shaft angle, that is shaft angle. And in case of worm and worm gear, the fourth angle is introduced, that is lead angle related with worm. Okay, it is the angle made by helix of worm with the plane perpendicular to the axis of rotation. Okay, this is lambda. Lambda is the angle made by helix, or angle made by teeth with the plane perpendicular to the axis of rotation. Okay, understand clearly. Helix angle of worm is the angle made by teeth with the axis of rotation, and lambda is angle made by teeth with the plane perpendicular to the axis of rotation. This is the plane perpendicular to axis of rotation. This is lambda. Okay, so from this figure alpha w plus lambda is equal to 90 degree. Okay, this is horizontal line, this is vertical plane. So alpha w, both are making 90 degree with each other. So alpha w plus lambda is equal to 90 degree, or lambda is equal to 90 degree minus alpha w. So comparing this equation, lambda minus 90 minus alpha w, comparing this equation with this 90 minus alpha w is equal to alpha g. If comparing these two equations, we will get alpha g is equal to lambda. Lead angle of worm is equal to helix angle of gear. Lead angle of worm is equal to helix angle of gear, worm gear. Remember this point for solving the numericals. Now next term is number of start or threads on worm, that is denoted by TW. Number of start is denoted by number of teeth on worm. Number of teeth is nothing but number of start, or number of threads on worm. It is the number of threads cut around the cylinder body of the worm. Around the cylinder body of the worm, generally it is not more than 6. I think already you learned what is single start thread, multiple start thread, double start thread, triple start thread. Okay, if the threading single, if these are single start thread, the number of threads or number of teeth on worm we are considering as 1. If the worm is starting 2 threads, 2 helix are there on the cylinder, which are cut on the cylinder, at that time TW will be 2, double start thread. If 3 helix are cut on the cylinder, at that time number of teeth will be 3, triple start thread. Okay, in this way, then how much helix are cut on the cylinder, that are the number of start or number of threads on worm. And number of threads which are maximum cut on the cylinder is not more than 6. So value of TW will not exceed the 6. Okay. Now the axial pitch of worm, and this is denoted by PA, axial pitch, P suffix A, axial pitch. It is the distance measured on pitch circle. It is the distance measured on pitch surface from one point on the tooth to the corresponding point on the adjacent tooth in axial direction. Axial pitch. See here that is denoted by axial pitch. Okay, so one point, this one point if I consider on one tooth, so the same point, the corresponding point on adjacent tooth measured in axial direction, measured on axis, this axial distance is called axial pitch. Okay, one point, if I consider this point, I am showing here this point and the corresponding point on adjacent tooth. Okay, this point. So this is measured in axial direction. So this is called as axial pitch. Okay, PA, axial pitch. Now come to the next point, lead of worm. Lead. See, there is two different terms. One is lead angle. Here, lead angle of worm, and here lead of worm, where lead is a straight distance and lead angle you can measure in degree. This is inclination. Okay, so this is straight distance. It is the distance traveled by a point of worm when rotates through one revolution. If you consider this one point, so in one revolution, how much distance it will travel in one revolution of worm, that axial distance is called lead. So lead is equal to number of start into axial distance, PA. If it is double start thread, so in one revolution it will move double distance, double of PA. So double start thread is TW will be 2 into axial distance. So multiplication of lead will be double of P, double of axial pitch, lead. You can see lead here. Number of start into axial pitch, that is lead. Okay, so this is pitch circle DW. DW is pitch circle diameter, DW, pitch circle diameter from worm. And if you cut that cylinder and it will develop, it will open that cylinder, the length of this opening, the length of this cylinder you can find out by pi into W, pi into D, pi D. After development of this cylinder, after opening that cylinder, the length after opening you can find out by pi into D. And DW is nothing but diameter of worm, pi into DW. So this developed length will be pi into DW, pi D. And this vertical distance is nothing but lead. Lead is equal to number of start into axial pitch. So this will be, and this is helix. This is helix or thread which are cut on the cylinder. So this inclination will be lead angle. What is lead angle? Inclination made by teeth with the plane perpendicular to the axis of rotation. Lead is nothing but angle made by helix or angle made by teeth with the plane perpendicular to the axis of rotation. So this will become lambda. So these all form the triangle. So tan lambda is equal to opposite side, which is nothing but lead, and lead is equal to number of start or number of teeth on worm into axial pitch. So this will become lead. So opposite side divided by adjacent side. This is nothing but tan lambda. So what is adjacent side? Pi into d. Pi into dw. So tan lambda is equal to number of start into axial pitch divided by pi into d. Pi d, pitch circle diameter of worm. Okay, clear the point? Next, now come to the terminology related with worm gear. And worm gear is similar to the helical gear. Helical gear. Only the face of worm tip is concave. Now come to the next point. Transverse circular pitch, that is denoted by PT. Already we have discussed in helical gear. Transverse circular pitch. It is a circular pitch measured in transverse plane, and this transverse plane is nothing but plane of rotation of the worm gear. Here new gear is there, worm gear or worm wheel. It is not similar to the bolt. It is similar to the gear, helical gear. Okay. So transverse circular PT is equal to circular pitch measured in transverse plane. The transverse circular pitch of worm gear is equal to the axial pitch of worm. Transverse circular pitch is equal to axial pitch of worm. So PA is equal to PT into pi into module. Circular pitch, the formula for circular pitch is equal to pi into module. Okay. And module for gear is equal to ratio of D by T. D by T. Ratio of pitch circle diameter divided by number of teeth on gear. So DG divided by TG is transverse module. Transverse module. Remember this point. The axial pitch for worm is equal to transverse circular pitch for gear. Transverse circular pitch for worm gear. Okay. Now come to next point. Normal circular pitch, PN. Normal circular pitch. It is circular pitch measured in normal plane, and that plane is perpendicular to the teeth. As worm gear is similar to the helical gear, we can write Pn is equal to Pt cos alpha. Already we have discussed in case of helical gear. I show, if you don't remember, I show here that helical gear that we have already discussed in helical gear. Pn is equal to Pt cos alpha. So Mn is equal to Mt cos alpha. How Mn is equal to Mt cos alpha? Pn is equal to pi into module. Pn is equal to pi into module. That is the standard formula. So Mn is into pi. Pn is equal to Mn into pi. And Pt is equal to Mt into pi. Mt into pi into cos alpha. So pi will get cancelled here. And so formula will become Mn is equal to Mt cos alpha. This is for helical gear. But in case of worm gear, instead of alpha, we will write here alpha for wheel or alpha for gear, alpha G. Mn is equal to Mt cos alpha G. Mn is equal to Mt cos alpha G. Pn is equal to Pt cos alpha G. So Pn is equal to Mn into pi. And Pt is equal to Mt into pi. So pi will get cancelled. Remaining term will be Mn is equal to Mt cos alpha G is equal to, where alpha G is equal to lambda. Alpha G, see here, alpha G is equal to lambda. already we have derived here. So putting the value of alpha g in here, lambda. So mn is equal to mt cos lambda. So these are some formulas which you have to remember for solving the numericals. And in examination, compulsory one question will ask on worm and worm gear. So at the end of this session, the students can understood the terminology and basic formulas of worm and worm gear. Thank you so much.